I think we're all searching every day, every second for the truth. What we are right now is the truth. We are all we can be in present time. But it's
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of No Right Answers. I switched out the layout today, trying something a little bit more different. I'm feeling it out, trying to make something a little bit more kind of homey, more welcoming than just like sitting in the chair. So I switched to this type of layup or layout. Today I'm with Jaden, someone that is a friend of a friend. We actually went to the same high school together. I did not know that.
sir.
Yeah. So it's like a very small world. You never know who you're gonna meet. But yeah, he hit me up in the DMs, and I cannot tell you guys how much like those DMs mean to me. Like when people reach out to me and talk to me about being on my podcast, it's such an honor, such a blessing. It really does make my day. So I thank you for that. You know, before like even starting this podcast. But I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, cause you know this is the first time I'm meeting you, and this is the first time you guys are seeing him, I think. So take the floor.
Without further ado, before I even get started, I'm just grateful and thankful to be here. Just shout out to this man right here, No Right Answers to the top. But just a little bit about me. My name is Jaden Washington. I'm the founder of the Money Man team and the founder of the credit service as well for the Money Man team. I'm a full-time entrepreneur and I'm a day trader. And that just really sums it up on the Forex market, foreign exchange. And do a little crypto trading as well. Okay. So yeah, that's a little bit, a nice little intro.
So I'm gonna just kind of ask you some questions because I'm interested in myself. So, I can tell you're very business driven and like you're trying to make some money. Was college ever like in your head throughout high school or?
I had mixed feelings about it, and it's crazy that you bring this up because right when graduation happened, it was 2020. So it was COVID, or the cough year. And it's crazy, I dropped out first day because...
Really?
Yeah, cause I've always been an in-person learner. I've always liked that human connection, being able to hear my teacher, who is my teacher, and hearing their side of how I should really do something and the learning process. But the online learning for me was never the way I could maximize my potential in learning. I could never be able to maximize my full potential of growth.
Or like just like being able to learn.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, so you graduated high school in 2020?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the same class.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, wow. I did not know that. So yeah, like I could relate to that heavy. Like the first year was all online. We're basically teaching ourselves. Like I thought it was stupid. So I think after the first semester, I just stopped going as well. But yeah, college, I don't know. Like, and throughout high school, I personally felt like I was never gonna go to college because I didn't see myself getting a degree to get a job, to work for,
I didn't know what I wanted to really do. You know, I was always kind of confused about, man, where would college take me if I were to pursue it? I never really had the insight, and I think, going to college, it wasn't really my thought of things. Like it was kind of everyone in my family kind of went to college, and my mom and dad, they graduated from college, so all they really know is, you should go to college, find something that's going to make you some money after, get that 4-year degree, or pursue whatever you want to get into and, find a job that can make you money, live on your own. But that's all they know. The people that, kind of help you throughout life, they're only going to teach you as much as they know. So, and that's one thing I realized about, especially graduating, like you get into the real world. It's like you've been in high school so long and, you're around your friends and you're around people who are typically still younger, on the younger side, it's kind of teenagers still, but you don't get that real experience of, wow, like going on the college campus to say, meeting older people, meeting more experienced people in life, people who've been through more, typically just more experience in different fields, different aspects, intellectually, mentally, and spiritually. So that's one thing I realized about stepping out into the real world, I think.
Like, so are you kind of saying like you kind of wish you went to school so you could have those experiences, or are you saying that you got those experiences because you didn't go to school?
I got those experiences because I didn't go to school.
I also relate to that. Yeah. It like kind of throws you out into like the real world, like, instead of going through more school.
Because I remember like viewing the campuses like, do I really want to go through just another level of school in a sense? Do I really want to go through that again? Because I remember all the feelings going through listening to teachers who, call your parents or something when you do something wrong. Like, do I really want to go through something like that, or do I want to learn from someone who's really in the place that I want to be in? And that was the number one question that I had to figure out in myself. Like, man, does my professor, let's just say my professor in college, do they have the results I want? And does their bank account have the results I want? Because it wouldn't make sense for you to learn from someone who doesn't have the results.
Yeah, take advice from someone you wouldn't want to switch places with.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and are they even happy with their situation? Number one, because they can be teaching you something, but do they really love it? Do they have the burning desire to really give you the best information so you can prosper yourself? So, you start asking those questions, then you realize, like, man, what is really college? And you figure out later on that, you start listening to the millionaires and billionaires, they say, and we're in such a time now, easy access to information, college is on YouTube, and that's just the lowest level of the college. Like, you have seminars, and you have people who are, been through their trials and errors, and that are kind of already in that position to teach you some real valuable skills in the business world, not even just business world, connecting with people, relationships. So there's so much more you can learn, I feel like, just outside of school. And you don't have to pay so much money and be in debt, to thousands of dollars of debt for some of these people. And to come out with, it's not even certain that you could get a job, to come out with a degree that doesn't define you. A paper doesn't define you, you define you. That's the thing. You define who you're going to be, not someone writing a name on a paper and saying, look, now you qualify for these jobs. Nah, I don't believe in that.
Yeah, it's very limiting,
Yeah, that's like a limiting belief in a way,
And like to circle back to what you said about like learning from someone that is actually living that life.
Right.
I feel like the hard part kind of comes from knowing what you actually want to do. It's like, it's easy to say find a mentor, but it's hard to say what type of mentor,
Right.
Because like when you're 18 years old, you don't really know what you want to do. I would say you're still in the exploring stages. And that's how I spent my years. I was just trying like many different things. Like I got into real estate, I got into like modeling, I got into like a little bit of business, just to feel out like what are some skills that I have, like, kind of, because it brings it out of you, like
Right.
stuff that you have to do to get the job done. So I feel like the best time to be in the testing ground is when you're like still in that 18 to 20.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that when you're in school and you're set on like getting this degree for that one job you already have yourself like lined up for. So yeah, I think, man, it's like it's hard for me to say don't go to school.
Yeah, I won't say that. If you have something you truly want to go for, no problem, go, because you know what you're going for. It's kind of like you have that set destination, so you can't go anywhere without having a destination. It's like you're not gonna hop in your car without knowing where you're gonna go. So that's just a perfect analogy. So if you know what you want to go for, go to college. I understand. You know what you're doing. You know what you got to get done to get where you want to be. That's the only way you're gonna really make the steps to get there.
No, for sure. Yeah, like that is step number one. Know where you want to go, for sure. Would you say business was kind of like in your mind? Like, I don't know if it runs in the family a little bit.
No, it definitely runs in the family.
Okay.
With my dad, like I've always seen him. He's always been working. He's always been a businessman. He's always owned his own things. He's always wanted nice things and always had nice things. So I've kind of had the clear picture of what it was gonna look like for me down the road and what I truly wanted. And I think that's so huge, because if you have family members who are there maybe not doing exactly what you would do, but they're in a position where, I want to run my own business, or I want to be able to, have my own nice stuff and run things that typical regular people wouldn't really do, I would say this, when it comes to like, I guess, having like a dad who's kind of had the mindset, and it's funny, he never really talks about mindset, but it's kind of like a natural thing.
It's already in him.
Yeah, it's already in him, and you see that, it's like, damn, like it's not on him, it's in him.
That's like what that makes me think of is like, I feel like this generation, or like specifically ours, where we already went through the system of the schooling system, learning how to just like like regurgitate information. I feel like we were kind of like brainwashed, so we have to kind of unlearn that train of thought. And like, for example, like failing is like very bad in school, but like in real life, failing is like one of the best things you can do because you learn so much from them. So I think for us, it's like a lot of unlearning those skills or unlearning a lot of those mindsets and adopting new ones that are a lot healthier and will, you know, provide, or what is it called? Kind of like promote success in our own lives.
Promote like, and here's how I go about it, because I heard an analogy. Success and failure is like a coin, like heads and tails. If you can't have, you know a coin will be counterfeit if it only has one side, only heads. You can't have only success, that means something's wrong. You can't just have only failure, that means something's wrong. You gotta have two together. That's why there's a heads and tails. You gotta have success and failure. Your next success is gonna lead you to your next failure. Your next failure is always gonna lead you to your next success. Every single time.
That kind of reminds me of like the whole duality things of life. I feel like there is always a need of like an opposing factor.
Yeah, equal and opposite. Yeah, that's the law of polarity right there. You know, there is no such thing as a middle ground. There is no such thing as that.
Really? Why do you say that?
Well, it's a law. You can only have a good and a bad. You can only have a good and a bad. You can only have a left and a right. You can only have a front and a back. Like,
but I feel like the middle zone is like, for example, let's say good and bad.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no such thing as this is good, this is bad. Because I don't know if you heard of like this like Chinese fable. It's like this farmer has a son, and like one day the horses run away, right? And the villagers are like, oh, that's a bad thing. Like, I'm sorry for y'all. But then the next day the horse comes back with like a bunch of more horses. The villagers are like, oh, I guess the horse running away was a good thing. And then with these new horses, the son is trying to train the horses.
Yeah.
And he fucking falls off one of them, breaks his leg. Oh wow, maybe he shouldn't have brought the horses. That's a bad thing. It's like that type of cycle of like thinking retrospectively. You can label it as good or bad.
Right.
But in that present moment, I feel like there is no such thing as fluid. You know, you can't really define it until it's over, but it's never really over.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's a great way.
I kind of disagree with the.
Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. You know? It kind of but that's what I like. You know, it kind of opens my mind to other things, other ways of looking at things, and because it's like an old lady could fall, but it's really the thought you give it. At least she fell, but that she didn't get hurt. Like, and I heard that from one of my friends. Like, dang, like that's very true. Like, she did fall, but
she got back up.
She got right up. Like, she didn't have to get back up, and that's when it's like that would have been bad, but the fact that she did, that's what really made it good about it.
And I think that's like kind of like a perspective thing as well, like just how you approach life.
Yeah.
I feel like pessimists, like they create their own future, they create their negative lifestyle because that's all they're looking at. But like I think one of the best things I've ever done was like think what is the best thing that could happen and just like living life like that. Because I feel like the opportunities just start coming your way because you're like attracting it, not in like a magical way, but like it's more like since you're looking for it, it's so much easier to spot.
For it to come, because that's what you're looking for. You're gonna find what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Especially if you know what you're looking for. It's like that. Like I think it's definitely a mindset shift. You gotta have a paradigm shift in order to see the things you want. Like you can't really think you're gonna find that desire if you're thinking negative, because what you're thinking is what you really become. Like Earl Nightingale said, you become what you think about, the stranger's secret. And that's so true. Like if you're thinking about negative, you're gonna see negative things. If you're thinking about something positive, if you're thinking a miracle's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time.
And like it's crazy because like 2 years ago I thought like manifestation was like all bullshit. Like what is like saying things gonna like do
what
for
is
you?
it gonna do?
But like I feel like I was seeing it in a different eye. I still don't think like saying it will do anything for you. You know, the work has to be done for you to achieve the like fruit of your labor. But I think what it does is keep it in the front space of your mind of like this is what you're going after, this is how you're gonna get it, and just keep having that reminder. I think that's what really creates the effect of manifestation.
Yeah, I'll say this because for me, this is really a 3-year like journey of understanding what manifestation really is. Like repetitious information is what does. You have to reprogram yourself for the things that you want. The only way, and in our mind, this is how like our brains work. Our brains are just the receiving or the switching station for our minds. So It's our brains, it's our minds, then it's our spirits. So
Okay, what is that order? Or are you not labeling them in order? You just...
yeah, those are each separate things.
Okay, I see what you're talking about.
We have our minds, or not even our minds. We'll start with our brains. So what do you put in your brain every day? What are you listening to every day? Who are you listening to every day? And
that mental diet.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you got to feed your brain the right food in order for it to be healthy. Right? That's the only way. If you're not feeding your brain success, abundance, how do you think you're going to project success and abundance if you're not feeding your mind that? Like, the thing is, your mind and your spirit are working together to project what you're seeing in those two mental factors, or your mind and your spirit. There's a reason why we have imagination. There's a reason why we have the ability to see and create the things in our mind, because it may not be exactly the way you thought it was going to be in your mind, but it comes out some way, shape, or form. Like, people aren't able to explain that, but if you're able to understand how the science of it, the science of, okay, my brain, the things I feed my brain, like on a repetitive level, it has no choice but to come out into its physical form. Because I can't see the words you're saying. I can't see the words you're saying. So I can only hear that. But it's all on, number one, the thought you give it, on how you take that information in and how you translate that. How can I take what he's saying, bounce back off of that in an intellectual way? Because our minds are talking right now before we even speak. Our minds, which aren't our brains, they're communicating right now.
Okay. I want you to elaborate on that.
Well, before you think something, before something comes out into the physical world, like my voice, your mind already has to process that. Our mind, our thoughts are faster than the speed of sound. Faster than the speed of light.
So what I have to say to that is, I believe we have thoughts which we don't have control over, and I feel like it kind of ties into the brain, where these thoughts come up, and then it's our, or I don't know about the labeling, but it's our choice to take that thought and kind of break it down and like, okay, how do I want to see this thought? How do I want to use this thought and turn it into an action? Because I think ultimately that's what matters in action. Regardless of your thoughts, I don't care what you're thinking. I care about what you're doing.
What are you doing?
And what you're saying. I think that matters most. So wait, what were you saying again? I'm sorry.
No, I was saying how like everything physically is coming from
the mind.
The mind.
Okay, I agree. Yeah.
Because the mind and the spirit are leading the physical action you're gonna take. Like, without mental, spiritual connection, there's no way you can really get yourself to say, you know what, I'm gonna do it. That's where the action is. And like Bob Proctor talks about this, like the conscious and the subconscious mind. Like, your subconscious mind takes any and everything. Can't accept it, can't reject. It's just taking everything in. Now your conscious mind, that's your ability to accept or reject. And then those are separate from your body. Your body is not, you're not your body, you're not your brain, you're not any of that. You're really your soul, your soul. So those two things separately, your soul is leading the body, or your soul is leading the mind, which your mind and the soul are connected. And those two combined are leading your body. Your body is going to lead the action. It's a tool. Yes. Your body's the tool.
For the mind and the soul.
Yeah.
Would you say everyone is aware of their own mind and soul, or do you think?
No.
Okay.
95% of people don't know who they are. Oh, wow. 95% of, that's the thing. You have to know who you are in order to really be who you are in the physical. You have to know who you are mentally, spiritually before you really pursue what you're going to be into, like your life path into the physical.
Do you think figuring out who you are is more about unraveling the truth? Or do you think it's kind of like creating the truth, like kind of building the identity? I'm a person that is very disciplined, who gets up in the morning very early. Even though that's not you right now, that's like the person you see yourself as. Do you think that's finding yourself? Or do you think it's more like, oh, these are my real habits? These are, actually not, I don't even want to ask that because I disagree with
I understand the concept you're going at. I think we're all searching every day, every second for the truth. What we are right now is the truth. We are all we can be in present time. But it's the thoughts we get. It's the thought we give the future. Like I heard a quote. The future is what you speak and what you write in present time. That's what the future is. Like the past, present, and future happening all at the same time. All information is evenly present through past, present, and future. It's all here right now. It's whether or not you're aware of how much of that information you have, which grants you that power in the physical.
So when you say we're in the past, present, and future?
Yeah, it's all happening right now. Like everything that's happened in the past, we all still have. Everything that's happening, everything that's gonna happen in the future, we all still have. That's why our imagination, that's why we can see like what we built, what we want in the future. That's our connection to the future. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, I did not think about it like that.
Because like I was saying before this, like this was just an idea. All of this no right answers, all of this was an idea before it was in the physical. Everything in this physical plane was an idea. That's the only way it can ever been physically manifested. Like this table was in someone's mind before it was here.
It has to be an idea before.
Yeah, it has to be an idea before it was here. This was in someone's mind before it was here. Like nothing standing still in this room. Like I heard this. We can stand physically still, but we're forever moving in thought because physically nothing's ever standing still. Number one, and mentally everything is really moving really fast. That's why thoughts come so fast. That's why sometimes, like you said, you can't control your thoughts because there's an infinite amount of thoughts that we have access to. There's an infinite amount of energy. There's an infinite amount of information that's here. It's whether or not you're aware of that, which then grants you the power to tap into all this.
That's kind of a scary thought to think about, though. Like,
yeah, because
if you're unaware, it's like you're like kind of plugged into the matrix.
No, you're definitely in the matrix. Like, it's definitely a matrix. There's definitely a box that people are concealed around because there's a curtain. Like there's like a smoke screen. Like you can only see as far as you go, and that's the thing. Like being in the matrix is number one. Do you know who you are?
Being a what?
Or being in the matrix is more like, do you know who you are and do you know where you came from? Like once you start figuring out where did I come from, where was I at, and where am I at, and where am I going to be? Because a lot of people, they're being swayed on opinions of others. They're not really thinking for themselves. They're not really taking active thought. Like I heard this, like 95% of people don't think. Don't think at all. 3% of people think they're thinking, and like 2% of people are actually thinking. Like consciously making conscious decisions, not about anyone else but for themselves. And when it comes to that, you gotta have a vision. Like you have to get there mentally, spiritually before you get there physically. That's how things work. Like it's just crazy. Like the fact that this was an idea, like everything was an idea in someone's mind before it had to come here. And where do ideas come from? Like when you start asking the real questions, where did my thought come from? How did that thought get to my mind? Like, why am I thinking this thought? And how can I use this thought to apply it into my life or into whatever aspect you really want to go to? You know, you start thinking that brings mental connections to other thoughts and other, questions that need to be answered. And that's what I feel is truth. It's the everlasting question of what are things and how can I figure this out and how can I apply it to my life and impact other people's lives.
Okay, so wow, that's like you're sharing some new ideas to me as well with this. But I kind of want to go back and
we can backtrack to which part.
Yeah, I want to ask you. So like, for the people that like, would you say you're outside of the matrix?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely outside.
Okay, you broken out. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Like I have to limit myself from saying certain things because I can get like really.
You should like go for it. I'm not gonna stop you, but
Oh no, yeah, ask your question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask for the people that are still inside the matrix, is there anything that you can kind of say to them? Because like in my mind, it's like it's something that they have to do on their own. They have to make that
conscious
switch
decision.
And to want to escape or even realize that they're inside. I think that's like the hardest part, to kind of say that to yourself, because it's like it's basically saying like I've been fooled my whole life. And like saying that is like very like, you got to be vulnerable to do that. So I feel like people kind of reject that side and be like, no, what are you talking about? Like I know who I am. Like what you know. So is there any like tips or like any like or maybe like your own experience on like how you kind of like woke up, you know?
Yeah. This is first step literally for everyone. You got to know you're in a prison in order to escape the prison. You got to know that you're in a prison in order to escape the prison. If you don't know that your mind's been trapped and then enslaved, you're not going to be free. You have to constantly tell yourself, yes, I've been lied to my entire life. Yes, everything I thought that I was being taught, no, that wasn't right.
Accept reality, kind of.
Yeah. It's either you accept it or reality will wake you up, or you'll just stay blind to it.
Okay. So now that we're aware, okay, damn, I've been living in this fucking simulation of a life that I thought was in my control, but I've just been like slaving away. Fuck, what do I do?
Well, from here, now you have to understand now that you're out, that's a power in itself. Breaking out is a power. So
just being able to see.
Yes.
Okay.
That's awareness. Okay. Wow. Okay. I've been lied to and I've been in a box basically. All right. So now from there you have to understand you can create anything you want. You have to understand that you are the person who can create anything. Listen, anyone and everyone. Everyone has the ability to do anything they want. Everyone has the ability to create anything they want. That's why you're really placed here to create. We were born rich. We were born in abundance. We were born from the divine infinite power. To even get here, because you got to think, like I said, everything came from an idea. You were an idea. An idea had to get sent to your parents before you got here. But where did that idea come from? And this is why I say, definitely God's a real thing. God had to place that idea, and you had to consciously tell God that you wanted to be here. You're here for something. Like the idea that you were like a non-physical being before getting here to become a physical being. And number one, you have a mind, you have an intellect, and you're in a physical body. But your physical body isn't you. Your physical body is just the physical representation of what your spirit is. So all you are is just a physical representation of what spirit and mind working together is.
Okay, so the reason I was like smiling so hard is because that's what I was thinking as well. Like the second step is like realizing you have 100% power over your own life. Like this life is truly yours. People don't really see that. And I agree with you when you say like we are meant to create, We're not, maybe I take that back. I feel like not everyone's meant to create.
No, everyone's meant to create.
You think everyone's meant to create?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone was meant to create something because you are creating something. Everyone is creating something. You're creating what you're thinking about.
Okay. I'm gonna take that side because that sounds right.
Yeah, everyone is creator.
I see what you're talking about now.
It's just you're either creating positively or you're creating.
Or maybe it's like actively creating versus passively creating. Like people might.
They're all. It's the same thing.
It's all creating.
One. It's all creating.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
I would say.
So. Yeah, have you ever read the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People?
No, but that's a book on my watch list. Actually, it's good that you said that.
That book, I think you'll really like that book. It kind of talks about this. It's not really like habits as in like wake up early. It's like it's like more like mindsets. But I think that's like a part of it. Realizing that your brain is like the most powerful computer, it can create anything.
Yeah, our brain is more powerful than our phones. Like that's the lie that they'll tell you. Just because your phone can tell you everything doesn't mean your mind doesn't know everything. Your mind is connected to everything. Every atom, like we're made of atoms. Atoms are literally connected to everything. So just with that fact, we are everything. We're all. It's a universal consciousness. We came from the universe. So that being said, if you are connected with everything, that means you really know everything. But I don't want to say it like that.
I think you're connected to everything. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
You're like,
Because it's universal. It's the more you tap into the universal power and the universal thing that created you, you're going to get granted more power because that's what the universe really is. The universe is the power at B. The universe is the power that created us. The universe is what we are right now. And it's constantly moving. The universe can't move backwards. If it moves backwards, literally, the universe will collapse. We can only keep moving forward. Only things keep moving forward as time goes by. So it's either you keep up with that time or you don't keep up with that time.
What do you mean keep up?
Well, there's a universal flow to things. Like, we're always moving forward. You can't move backwards.
Are you talking about like the Industrial Revolution? Like you gotta...
No, not the Industrial Revolution. I mean more so of like, there's a universal consciousness. You can say it's God, whatever you want to say. But God is always looking to move you forward. He's never looking to move you backwards. Just like you can never lose. Like there's no such thing as losing, or there's no such thing as failing, because that failure can only bring you to the next point. Like the word challenge, change isn't challenge. In order to get change, you have to be challenged. You've got to get challenged. If you don't want to be changed, then you don't want to be challenged. So you're not really growing. You're just staying still. And like I heard in Think and Grow Rich, the idle mind is the devil workshop, because now that's only going to bring room for negativity and negative things. Because the thing about success and the thing about getting to where you want to be, you have to be moving with the flow of things. There's a flow of everything. Like there's a flow to this conversation, how we can go back and forth mentally, intellectually with our conversations. A lot of people can't do this. This is us being with the flow of things. And that's how I see it. Like holding a conversation, especially a high level conversation, there's got to be a certain frequency you're on. There's got to be a certain vibration of the conversation you're on. Our conversation that we're having is a high level conversation. Like people can feel this conversation through the phone. It's every time, because number one, it relates. It's a progressive realization of where the ideal. That's what success is. It's moving forward. It's plain and simple. Like what we're saying can only benefit someone. We're not saying anything that could bring someone back. We're saying things that if you really listen, you don't listen with your ears. You listen with your emotions. That's the only way you really gain intelligence. See, people hear, but they're not understanding. They're not listening to understand. That's why they hold them back. It's more of like an ego pride thing they got to get, and they got to train themselves. Some people got to train themselves to listen, to really listen with their emotions, so they can hear and understand where someone else is coming from. And just using that power is you moving forward. You're leveling up that power. You're leveling up that understanding of hearing instead of, just hearing it and going right out to the other. That's a skill. That's a power that we got.
Being able to listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, you said something that caught my attention, but I forget.
Oh, was it what was it?
Being able to communicate
right.
at this
level,
at this caliber.
Yeah.
I think another like foundation of that is people that are very I don't think confident is the right word, but like they know who they are.
Yeah.
Because now like I can tell you're not really trying to come off a certain way. I feel like you're just talking to me from your soul.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm talking from my soul.
Right.
So we just have that genuine connection. But I feel like in our day-to-day lives, when we talk, it's like very surface level, because we have those walls up. We don't know if like we don't have the feeling of it's okay to be vulnerable. But in my mind, which has been recently switched, it's like you got to be vulnerable with everybody you meet, because that is the realest version of yourself. Why would you hold that back from meeting people? Because you're presenting yourself, and it's either take it or leave it. I feel like people try too much to be on everyone's good side, but then they lose themselves in that. Yeah. They're not themselves anymore. They become like attributes that they think people want. They didn't even know that they want it. It's like all these self-projections.
Do they truly want it though?
Exactly. Like it's
true.
It's so crazy to, and this is the craziest thing. Like our mind is so powerful that we can really like create a false reality and just live in it and not even be aware of it till the day we die. And that's that's scary because like even though I feel like I'm like awake and I see things, I'm still like,
am I
exactly? I still have that doubt of like, am I seeing the full picture? Yeah, like
am I seeing it for what it really is? But then that always brings me back to there's always another level. So I may think I'm really at the top, but there's someone just laughing at me saying, nah, you still got somewhere. There's still someone another level above. And, that's a humbling effect, I feel, to make me feel, you're not on top of the world. You're at a great spot in your life. It's great. Feel proud. There's nothing wrong with feeling proud of where you get to in your life and getting accomplishments. But always stay humble and realize there's always someone doing better than you. And there's always someone trying to get to where you're trying to get. So it's that equal and opposite, I feel, which keeps you right in the middle, like you were saying, Yeah. So it's like that good and that bad, but it's the thinking that you give it that makes it so. I think I forgot who said that. I think Da Vinci said that.
Da Vinci.
Now, someone prominent said that.
Like, okay.
You know, there's no right or wrong, but thinking makes it so.
It might be, that sounds like Shakespeare.
Or yeah, Shakespeare, yes.
Yeah.
It was Shakespeare. Yeah.
That sounds like Shakespeare.
Shakespeare said that.
Yeah, that's like, that's crazy to think. Like, I don't know, I feel like when I talk to people like you guys like change my world perspective, not like drastically, but you guys are introducing these new concepts where I feel like every time I have these type of conversation, I'm living in a different world now. Like my whole life before was a little like more blinded. Now I'm just seeing a little bit more. So
it kind of clears up. It's like, oh, okay, I've never seen it from that point of view.
Exactly.
Like, okay, it like opens a window. It's like how I see it, like each conversation's a different dimension in a way. Each conversation is a different reality that we kind of step into because each conversation is really a different energy. Each conversation puts us on a different frequency. It can still be a high level frequency, but each conversation, each word, each level.
Are you always like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It took me, I'd say, but really it took me 20 years to get to where I am now. You know, full lifetime span. But you know, I really broke out when I was 16, 17.
What caused the breakout?
Psychedelics, man.
Okay.
Psychedelics really did it.
We talking LSD or the shrooms?
Yeah, those are two, but DMT was the one.
No way. Yeah. You started with DMT?
No, I didn't start with DMT. DMT was when I was about 18, 19.
So you've been kind of like dabbling with the tabs and when you took DMT, it was like, whoa.
Yeah, like we're really in it. Like,
yo, that's crazy. Okay, so I haven't experienced a DMT trip.
Yeah.
I know it's like out of this world.
It's out of this world.
It's like something you can't really put into words.
Oh no, I can put it in words.
Okay. Yeah. Let's hear it.
Yeah,
what was it like?
Look, I'm just saying this. If you don't believe in God, you better just start believing in. I know there's a golden temple. There's a promised land. I've seen the golden temple.
As in heaven, or what do you mean golden temple?
Yeah, well, they have came out and said there are 12 to 13 known dimensions that they know of, but there's more than that. There's infinite.
Who's saying that?
Oh, these are like quantum physics scientists and.
What do you mean they know that there's other universes? That's the
no,
thing.
like dimensions. Like
okay.
I didn't say universes. Well, technically, yeah.
Dimensions as in like 1D, 2D, 3D.
Yeah. We're talking about like.
Oh my God, that's crazy because I didn't even understand 4D. Like, yeah, I've seen videos, but I'm like, I just don't understand it.
Nah, 4D is kind of like the conversation we're having now. We're kind of on like a 4D level. These kind of back and forth, high level conversation. This is 4D conversation.
Okay. Oh my, that just reminded me. So like, I've talked with one of my friends. He's kind of into this as well.
Yeah.
And all of these questions that we're talking about, or like these ideas that we don't really have the answer to, in the 4D realm, it's like those are like kind of given, and like they're not really questioning those. So I don't know, it just reminded me of that.
No, it's crazy because like, you know, I don't want to say I know all the answers, but when I was there, I knew everything. Like when I mean,
you like got tapped into like the all-knowing universe.
the all-knowing, the seeing eye. Like there's a certainty to things. Like this physical plane is very low on the spectrum. Like there's a superior consciousness that has to overrule this one in order for things to work so perfectly. Like everything right now is working perfectly for the perfect reason that it needs to happen, that it has to happen, and that it's gonna happen.
And whose plan is this? Is it just the laws of nature, or is it like someone's writing the script?
Well, how I see it is God is projecting this reality, but God is trying to find out who he is. God's trying to find out where he came from. That's why this never ends. Like he's still searching. That's why the universe just keeps going, because he's searching for where he came from, who is his creator, who is God's creator.
God doesn't know he's God?
Well, he knows he's God in the lower realms. He knows he's controlling those things.
Because there's always another level?
There's always another level.
Oh my fucking God.
It just doesn't end. Like, that's why it's like...
Bro, that's crazy what you just said.
It's insane. Like, and I've had to sit back on a lot of, like, I've had time to really, God doesn't know where he's from, so what is he really searching for if he doesn't know where he's from? Because we know as God as the all-superior, all-knowing, he knows all, but in his reality, in his mind, he doesn't know all because he has to keep expanding to pursue and to create and to prosper.
Okay. let me challenge you a little bit, but I feel like as a human mind, maybe we can't even conceive that possibility. But to God, it's like, of course I know everything. Like, of course I know who I am. I'm like, So that's just, I don't know. But like, I never thought about God finding out about himself, because I would assume, you know,
he would
yeah,
know,
you know. But like, that's
that's
such an interesting thought, and like, how you tie that with like the ever expanding universe, like these infinite possibilities. He's like, I feel like humans are kind of like all connected. We're all our experiences are merging into like this one space of like knowingness.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know.
Because you got to think like
that tickled my brain.
No, like it's just a question though, because you know, even though I could be wrong, but it's still a question.
It's just those ideas, like, and like, where did the idea come from? Where did that thought come from?
Yeah, like, bro, who did that come from? Exactly. You know, you start cracking the codes a little bit, things can get a little crazy. Like, because you got to think that tree out there is a living thing. Like, before that tree even was a tree, it was a seed, and that seed has energy that needs to harmonize with the planet. So a seed has to harmonize with the universal energy to become a tree and to keep growing. Like, what is that really? What is that truly like? What is that energy? But that energy is inside of all of us. And us having a mind, us having a brain, an intelligence, a consciousness, that separates us from everything else. Now, here's the thing, like, there's definitely other beings out there that have an expanded consciousness than us that are in physical form.
You talking about like animals, or you talking about aliens?
I would say, aliens.
Aliens? Okay.
You know, we have the little, you know, birds and stuff. That's the normal stuff. But you know, we step into the realm of like consciousness. Like, there's got to be a physical being that goes beyond the human. I think, you know, and I would say they probably are humans. They're just evolved. You know, because I think, how long has this plane really been here? Do we really know? Because all we know is what we're on a time schedule. You know, the 12 months. But even that, there's places that don't go off of 12 months calendar years. There's places that don't go off of that at all. And honestly, I don't think, they say the beginning of the year is in January. No, the beginning of the year is really in April. That's when the planet springs into what it really is. That springtime, the seeds that you planted, like, there's seasons to this. Us humans are going off of the seasons of the planet, off of the universe. Like, going into spring, or really coming in from fall into winter, the seeds that you planted then are what going to start sprouting in April's time, leading into the summertime. When you get to has something to do with the season of sowing and reaping. So there's a season to sow, but there's a season to reap, but you can't do both in the same season. You can't. You have to sow, let your plants grow during, you know, those winter years, the fall years, going into the new year. But see, now that when you get into a new year, like after January, going into February, things start to brighten up. The planet starts to brighten up. Especially, you know, in Georgia where we're at, you know, we start to get more sun. We start to get more, you know, more of the natural way of things. And those seeds that you planted mentally, because every idea you truly give real energy to, real desire to, that's a seed. And nurturing that, just like how the seed and the planet nurtures that acorn seed to, you know, have it sprout into a little plant, little leaf. But then it breaks out through and it starts becoming like a bush, and then it starts becoming a real tree. Like, there's a process of things, but there's a season of all that. It's not all instant.
Yeah.
It all takes time. There's a season to sow, there's a season to reap, but all of that's not happening at the same time, because you're not going to plant a oak seed and it just instantly turn into a tree. No, it's going to take years. It's going to take years of that loving, nurturing energy. So you got to, and this ties back to desires. This ties back to, what do you love? Are you nurturing that idea? Are you giving that nurturing effect, that desire effect, that spiritual love that it needs for it to really start projecting itself in reality? Because just imagine you have a vision, and my vision is generational wealth for my family and impact a billion lives. So I've been saying that for 3.5 years every day, writing it down for 3.5 years every day. That's nurturing. That's 3.5 years of nurture. That's incredible. There's no way it doesn't start projecting itself. Like right now, all of this is just things that I wrote down, I'm saying. Things I want to be able to speak intellectual. I want to be able to understand universal things and be able to understand, how do things really grow? How do things really progress in life? Because just like that tree out there, I can tie that into me. That tree is connected to me because we're all energy, we're all mass, we're all atoms. So understanding that cycle of things, I understand myself better.
Do you see yourself, when you said impact 1 billion lives, do you see that more in a financial space or more of like this?
Nah, you know, it's the person you got to become to attract $1 million. It's the person you got to become to attract to impact 1 million lives. It's the person you got to become inside before any of that comes. Like,
so you want to share these ideas and concepts with people?
Yeah, expand consciousness. That's how you really do it. When you start expanding consciousness, you know, blessings of course going to come. And you know, you can expand consciousness. Blessings will come from any aspect of things. It doesn't have to be back from that one person. When you give out good, you're going to receive that same amount of good.
Or in some cases, even more.
Even more, yeah. It's tenfold. The season of the season of reaping is always tenfold. You sow. Like I heard this, there can be few laborers, but the fruits from that labor are going to be tenfold every time. Like every single time. But that's just the power of sowing and reaping. That's just one aspect. And another thing is just letting go and letting God. Like, I think a lot of people stress about a lot of things that aren't really even problems. You know, you ever realize you look back at the things that you went through and you're like, but that was really nothing.
Yeah. But in the moment, it feels like everything.
It feels like everything.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing I think I mastered now. Just literally, when I'm faced with something, I just say, let me let go and let God. Because God's in tomorrow, God's in next year, God's in next 10 years. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but God's already there. So why panic when I can just let go and let him work? Let him use me as the vessel. That's it.
That's like, I was going to say like that time period between you feeling like very shitty to you accepting it. Yeah. That time period is like...
that's the growth period.
Growth period, but I was gonna say more like that's the period of, like that's how, oh my God, I'm sorry.
No, you're all right. You're all right.
Like you're trying to build that skill of shortening that time, where now for you it's like almost instantaneously.
Yeah,
like you're like it's not in my control. Like I already know God's gonna take care of it. Like I'm not even tripping.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think that belief is like, or that faith is very, very beneficial.
Yeah. Because it's a thought you give anything. If I think, okay, all my physical problems that I have, anything in this physical realm that I'm seeing, I would say, that's a problem within myself that God can figure out if I allow him to. But it's that awareness of you allowing him to like you step back, you're physical, I'm supreme, I'm unseen, I'm the all supreme power. So the awareness of that already puts you off the charts thinking. Like to even think that 95% of people, honestly, 98% of people won't let go and let God because they're still caught up in the fact that I'm here physically. I think I'm in full control when really we have what we're seeing, we don't see with our eyes, we see through our eyes. It's like a movie. Like, we're only seeing less than 1% of what reality really is in the light spectrum. Like, this light spectrum, we're not really seeing what's going on.
We can't see gravity.
We can't see that. But that's a real thing. Like, that's a force. That's an energy. Like, that's something that an unseen being, like, non-physically can see. Okay, gravity's a thing. Or maybe that law doesn't even exist in the unseen. So there's definitely rules in this physical. There's rules and there's laws. Like, you can't get around gravity. Like, no one here can get around gravity unless you're just an alien or something, and yeah, you're flying, but you're not getting around that.
But it'll always be here. You can't really change that fact, that law.
But see, if that's a law, then that means there's laws in any and every aspect of things. It's just the awareness of it. The awareness and the understanding is the power. Like, I could read 1,000 books, but if I don't apply that knowledge, the power's there. I'm just sitting with a whole bunch of energy that I'm not letting out. And that's the letting out part is letting the God part. That's what it is. You don't fight that. That's the law of resistance. Why am I going to fight the resistance? No, let the resistance happen.
Okay, I want you to really break this down because I feel like that's something I struggle with personally.
Yeah.
About like, so me, I'm very like, I'll say I'm very like hard on myself when I'm not like working like at 100% effort, whatever. So like, I don't know if I'm like very self-sabotaging or if it's like a thing that driven people just all feel that like that, oh, you could be doing more, you could be doing more, you could be doing better. But like, I don't know, I want to adopt like that mindset of like, oh, God's gonna take care of it. Like, like I have faith that everything's gonna work out. And it's not that I'm like, oh shit, like is my life gonna be like?
Yeah, you're not panicking. Like that. Yeah.
Like I believe that like my life will turn out very wonderful. It's kind of up to me on how wonderful. But I don't know. Like I catch myself stressing out so much on like I guess like not being at the end point yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have like anything on that, like
well,
trusting the process.
I would say the fact that I know it never ends makes me feel like there's nothing to stress about. Cause
wait, say that one more time for me.
The fact that I know that it never ends, like the journey, like never really ends. Like even when you think it ends, no, you still gotta keep going. Like to a point. Like even when you're like, you know, you can be a billionaire, you still gotta keep going to some point. Because if you're not gonna keep going, that's how mental activity. That's life or death. The mental activity that you give yourself is how you keep living. You know, longevity in your life. You know, what's keeping you really here. You know, and that's a lot of things when it comes to, I say, older people. They feel like they don't know if they should keep going, and that's what makes them get older, I would say. Because there's 50, 60-year-olds, you know, you hear full of energy. They have more energy than 20-year-olds our age, like 15-year-olds. And that's just all a mindset thing. Like it's literally all a mental thing. Like what you were saying with how it can help is don't resist the resistance. The resistance is there because it needs to be there so you can get to that next part where it's making you harder. It's like molding your body, molding your mind for
kinda
what
like
you need.
Kind of like a test.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think what you just said about like there is no end, I think I really needed to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I'm stressing about, okay, when am I going to get there? But like I feel like I'm focusing on like the wrong thing. Like focusing on an end goal that doesn't even fucking
Because the thing is, you got to be there now. You got to, spiritually, you got to be there now for it to physically get there. So you're always really there, right? Mentally, you're always there. The vision, see, like right now, like what I'm saying in my mind, I'm saying my vision in my mind while we're having this conversation. Like I'm like projecting, like I'm up against my 40-year-old self. Like that Jaden right there, man, he's sitting there laughing at me. Like, dang, you think you know something now?
Think like that? Okay.
Yeah, you think you know the laws of the universe? Nah, just wait till you get to your 40-year-old self. You think you're big now? Just wait till your 40-year-old self. Like, I'm not in competition with anyone else. I'm in competition with my former self and my future self. I want to be better than my former self, of course, and I want to be where my future self is. There's no competition. It's me, and God. That's it. So there's really that puts a lot of stress away because you realize you're just up against you. Every day is a mental battle against you. That's it. Every day you gotta wake up and say, I'm gonna keep doing it for me. I'm gonna keep doing it to get to where I gotta be.
See, I've heard that before. It's always like you against you, but I feel like I don't know. It's like it's really speaking to me right now.
Yeah, because you realize like if you're doing it for a positive, like people, circumstances, situations, it all will align. Like just you ever just get the random coincidences, like everything is just perfect and it's just like there's no way like
what's going on
like
here?
What the no, like that's alignment. Like you're at alignment with yourself. Like that's
like my true self.
Your true self.
Oh, okay.
That's where the law of attraction really comes in. Like that's where the mythical part of like people think of the law of attraction, that's what it really like is. Like the law of attraction has to come from you seeing your vision. And you may not know who's going to be there. It's not about who's going to be there. You don't have to know. The thing is, you're not supposed to know when. You're not supposed to know how. You're just supposed to know you're going to get it done. With full faith and full desire that, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
But the how and when is...
No, you don't have to worry about that. That's for God to worry about. That's where the let go and let God happens.
Let go and let go. We gotta put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, literally. Nah, that's just Bob Proctor, man. I'm not gonna say it's the Born Rich seminar. I think it's all the audios that, and I'm not gonna lie, like people are gonna think this is crazy. Like you're gonna think it's crazy, but I had a year and a half where I only listened to audiobooks. Really? Only people just
like no music,
no music, no nothing.
Wow.
Like just I had to reprogram myself. I had to become the best success being, like because my vision, impact 1 billion lives. How am I gonna impact 1 billion lives? Expand my consciousness so I understand the success consciousness. I have the spiritual consciousness. I have abundant consciousness. So I can now plant all these seeds in people. But it's not for them to see. I want to be the example of what that person can be for themselves. I want people to look at me and say, Jaden's an example of what I can be. That guy right there is an example of what I can do, but in my own way.
I love that, bro.
Yeah.
And I think that that way is probably the best way of like just like leading by example, you know, doing your own thing, being the best you, to show that other people that they can kind of be the best them. Yeah. I think it's tough when it comes to like comparing ourselves to other people.
Comparison's the thief of all joy. Yeah. Like, and you're comparing your chapter 10 to someone's chapter 150. Like, it's like, never gonna.
And it's like complete different books. Like, why are you guys even comparing in the first place?
Exactly. We're two different souls. Yeah. They're on their path because they chose to be on that path. You're on yours because it's your path, and you're comparing like two different paths. And and like it's the social media world that we live in now. Like, you know, back then, if you were broke, you were broke. Like, you couldn't go on social media and like try and get the future. Like,
still get some like
enjoyment. Like, if you were broke, you had to like.
You had to work.
You had to work. You had to say, all right, I'm in this position, but you literally have to say, I want to be here, but I gotta work for this. Like, and if you get anything out of this, ladies and gentlemen, success, leadership, leaders lead, leaders work hard, leaders are consistent, they're persistent. They don't look at what they're going through now as something that is bad, that's challenging, or something that they're gonna regret. Like, you gotta understand that you have to get through that resistance. That resistance is there for you to get better, for you to be better, for you to create better, really. Because we're all creators. We're all made in the image of the Creator. We're all made in the image of the universe. The universe is constantly, everlastingly, infinitely creating more, expanding more, becoming more. That's what we are. We tap in with that time. You tap in with that flow, you're becoming more. You realize there's no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as losing. There's no such thing as moving backwards. When it's literally a stairway just going up, you may trip and fall, but you're still, like, even when you're tripping, you're still going up. Like, it doesn't stop.
Escalator?
Yeah. You're on an escalator, you're tripping.
Might fall, but you're still going
up.
Okay,
like, it's there's no moving back. That's impossible. That's literally, like, and I don't like using that strong words, but literally going backwards is impossible. You can't go backwards. You can almost
gained experience, like, okay.
Even that L you went through, like, your awareness, your consciousness got improved by it.
Yeah, leveled up.
It leveled up. Like, it's literally a video game. Even when you fail the mission, like, you still, like...
Got some XP, like...
Yeah, got something. Got something out of it.
Bro, that's such a different mindset, bro. Like, and like, I just want to say this. I know this podcast is not over. Yeah. But it's like, this is very refreshing for me. Like, I feel like I haven't talked to someone, you know, especially like someone my age. Usually my guests are all a lot older. Yeah. So it's just like, man, it's like, I'm really enjoying this conversation.
Nah, me too, man. Hey, I'm grateful and appreciative of you, man. This is awesome. I gotta...
And one thing that you said that reminded me of the podcast with Juan was when I was talking to Juan, he said he doesn't believe in free will. He says that everything's kind of set in stone. Yeah, you listened.
Yeah, I was interested.
He said like the person you are is because of the situation you're in. It was all kind of like organized. But I kind of disagree. I feel like humans have that superpower of controlling our destiny, of controlling our fate. So, like, I want to ask, okay, what do you think about this?
Yo, it's crazy because I agreed with both of you in a way. Like, he was right where you don't have, to a certain extent, you don't have a free will. Things are set in stone, but you have the conscious ability to create your destiny, to fulfill that destiny that
there's
you want.
Truth to both sides.
Both sides.
I can see that as well. Because I agree, like, the circumstance you grow up in does kind of form who you are. Your train of thought, the way you react emotionally is all kind of set.
Yeah.
But I would never not believe the fact that I control my life, because I think giving that power up kind of like, it's like,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like
no one stopped you from getting in your car.
Yeah, it's like a lazy way out of living. I feel like, because now you're like, oh, like I don't have control. Like, what am I gonna do?
That's an excuse. You're giving yourself an excuse to, I don't have to push as hard because it's just there's these
like
limiting
whatever comes.
circumstances.
Like I think that's like the loser way of thinking. So I'm like, no, Justin,
not a
the
right way to
situation
think.
you're in right now is because of you, bro.
Because of you.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta kind of like be real with yourself in that sense. So
step up to the plate.
I like that. I like that answer. A little bit of both.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit, and that was so interesting when I watched that because I was like, dang, like both of them have great like size, man. I'm like, great. It made me start thinking like, I'm like,
and shit, like that's like, bro, like those moments is what I live for, like being able to like tickle other people's minds.
Yeah.
And like similar to like what you do, like man, that's like I never heard anyone have that as like their vision of like opening up people's like consciousness. Like that's a different goal that I don't really hear day to day. It's more about like themselves. Like even though they want to help people, it could be like kind of like in a like egotistical way. Like they want to feel like they help people, but I feel like what you're doing is like you're really like a hero. You know, you're saving people from themselves, as in
mental
like
prison.
Yeah,
their
the reality that they created themselves. You're breaking people free, and like that's
the power, man.
Bro, that's like some like
it's incredible.
Like you're the savior or something. Like,
I try to tell you. I try not to say I'm a prophet because it's just strong words, but like I've seen like a lot of things meant like spiritual. I've seen kind of where I'm gonna be. Like just imagine like you've seen. You don't know how you're gonna go out, but you've seen the span of like the impact you're gonna have. Like a billion is just really like a start for me. Like. See, I can be long gone from here.
Generations, bro.
I can be long gone from here, and I know I'm gonna be doing it. Like, I know like my essence is gonna be left behind here. Like that's how certain I am. I wouldn't say any of this stuff if it's not certain. Like it's gonna happen. It has to happen.
It will happen.
Like there's a flow to things. There's a frequency. Like it is just I've seen it. I made such a clear mental picture, and this is where visualization, the law of visualization, comes into play. Like. You have to get every detail. Like, I on my journey, I'd always go to the big house mansions. I'd call the realtor and do the house tours, just like I'm actually buying the house, because I have to experience it in order to really believe it. You have to go there. You have to go there before you really get there. Like I go to the Lambo dealerships and I go through that whole process of me actually getting the Lambo, because my subconscious mind doesn't know what's real from what's not. So if it doesn't know that, if I'm acting like I'm getting the mansion, my subconscious mind will always know
this
that.
Shit normal.
Yeah, this is nothing. I'm not worried about price. Well, there's no such thing as a price tag, number one. But because that's a limiting belief in itself.
Okay, we got to touch up on that.
Yeah, but my body won't know what's real or what's not, or my mind. So if I go through that. This is why I write down $1 million check. Like I take a check and I write $1 million because.
You think I've seen that on your wall?
Oh yeah, it's always on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, but my subconscious mind doesn't know what's real from not. All it sees is I have $1 million written for me, and it's going to create that. All my mind knows is when I'm at the dealership, I'm sitting in the Lambo, I'm smelling, I'm sniffing it like it's mine. I'm literally driving like it's mine. My subconscious mind believes that that's mine, so it's going to create that. I go on that $1 million house, $3 million house. My mind doesn't know that it's not mine, but I'm telling myself in my mind that it's mine. So that's all it's getting. Yeah, this is yours. This will be yours. Give it time, and eventually you gotta that's why you have to go there, because you gotta give your subconscious mind, wow, like look how much room there is. Like some people don't even know that they can have a movie theater in their home. Some people never go out and experience that.
Break that belief, or like
you break that barrier. It's another limit you break. It's like boom, you just smash another limit.
Showing what is possible in this life.
Exactly, because anything's possible. Anything's possible to him that believeth. Like, ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be open. Like, you could literally say that for a year and you'll start to unlock barriers. Just that one line right there. Guarantee you say that for a whole year, every day and night, throughout the day. Like, it's happening. Like, see, one thing I do, like, even in my wallet, like, I have, this is what Bob Proctor said. You have gold cards. And I've read these for 3 years straight.
Can I see them?
Yeah. Like,
can I read them?
Yeah, you can read them.
I'm so happy and grateful I have built generational wealth for my family and future generations.
Yep.
Did you write this like a long time ago?
Yeah, look at the papers. Like, they're like worn out. There's gonna be a point where they're like dust. Still gonna have them though. I'm gonna portrait them because that was the start.
Started.
That was the start.
We're on the same wavelength right now. Asking it shall be given to you. Seeking you shall find. Knock and it will be opened unto you.
Yep.
Okay. And last one. Get rich, build wealth, impact lives. Straight to the point. My success card. Read every day till I. Okay, I fuck with it, bro.
There's power in that. Like
I might have to start doing that because like I have like these like little quotes that I have, but I never I haven't been consistent enough with it. But I feel like you're kind of living proof that's like
it's real.
That subconscious mind, especially what you said about the Lambo in the house, like that's like speaking to me right now. Like you really got to tap into that, use it as like a tool. And I know you said something about there's no such thing as a price tag. I want to go back to that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take this quick break because I have to take a piss.
Okay.
So I'll be right back, bro. I'm sorry. Welcome back. Just took a quick little break. Got some snacks and stuff. But I wanted to jump back to the topic about there being no price tags. That kind of caught my attention. So what do you mean by that?
I see that as a limiting belief. If a price tag is going to limit me from getting something, that's going to make me find some excuse not to get it. Your mind, like when you procrastinate, when it's like, and I remember this when I wasn't in the mindset I have now. Like I'd see something like, dang, why is this so, like, I don't want to buy that, but why am I even thinking that? Like I'm rich, I'm abundant, I can get anything, I can have anything. Like maybe it's just not the time for me to have it. Like it's all a perspective switch. It's just not the time for me to have that, or maybe I just don't need that. It's not important. Like you have to be able to be aware of, is this gonna impact me? Do I really need it? Is it that important? What's the longevity of this? Can I use this in future aspects? Will it help me later on? I think it's a lot of strategic thinking, long-term thinking, I would feel. But you kind of have to have the balance. Like, will this impact me short-term, or will this impact me mid-term, kind of the middle area, or will this impact me long-term? And the perspective switches.
Yeah, that's a very logical way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's also like not, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like a logic. It's kind of like both. It's this balance I kind of have in there. But there's no such thing as a price tag. I think that's just key. Like, I'm not gonna let a number stop me. That's the thing. Like, I think of $1 million. Like, all those zeros, those are solutions. For every zero, just find a solution to help. So $1 billion, all you got to do is find
$1 billion solution.
Not even however many zeros that is. That's however many solutions you got to find. It's easy. 7 zeros, 7 solutions for the planet.
Okay, shit.
There you go. And then once you find 7, that one will be there. That one will be there.
And before I cut back on, we were kind of talking about like psychedelics. I want to, kind of maybe transfer back into that.
Yeah.
We were just talking about everything's good, right?
No, yeah.
Okay.
I'm very open about, like, I'm just an open person.
Okay, perfect.
Truth will set you free.
We were just talking about like our experiences with it and like how we use it. And for me, shrooms was kind of like a recreational thing for me. Like it was very fun. Like I feel very free, like free-spirited, like away from societal judgment and chains.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason I really liked it. And it also kind of helped me tap into like my truest self of like, this is what I'm thinking, this is how I feel about it, this is what I want. I was very like aware and present like in that moment.
Yeah.
But I talked to one of my friend, and he's like very into tripping as well. And he was like, "Oh, do you trip recreationally or spiritually?" And like when he asked me that, I was like what? Like you do this spiritually? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to give that a try, cause like it's like like I don't know, cause like I know what it feels like to be tripping, but I don't know what it feels like to be intentionally tripping.
And with a real intention, because when you go in with intention, there's power with that. Like, see, there's a reason why. Like now, it's like when I hold shrooms, like I feel
the power.
Whoa, that's how real it is. But there's communication going on. Like there's communication that you're eating those, and it's sending you into another dimension. There's definitely a communication thing going on. So if before you even have them, you're going in with an intention. You're communicating to the shrooms that this is something I want to learn with some intent behind this. I want to gain. I want to become a better spirit after this. Like teach me, type. Because you always got to respect the shrooms now. Like that's one thing I realized. You have to respect them. They're not I understand. Maybe the first time, recreation, kind of with friends and stuff, having a good time. But you'll get to a point where it's like, nah, these are very power. With power comes responsibility for a reason. Like you unlock certain parts of the mind that the masses just don't got. Like you break out to a certain extent.
Okay, let me ask you this. So with any type of drug, whether it be nicotine, weed, shrooms, whatever, it's altering your state of mind, right?
Yes.
It's not normal. It's not functioning normally.
Normally, yeah.
So my question is, with shrooms, even though it feels like you are kind of like in this enlightened space of mind and you feel like your brain is working like a lot more clear, faster, whatever, do you feel like that's truly yourself, or do you think it's like an alteration that your mind is kind of creating for you?
I've actually thought about that, like, man, you're doing a lot, or is this really reality?
Yeah.
But do we really know what really reality is when you're confined to things?
Bro.
Like, just imagine, like, when you're living in America, like, you won't know what another country is until you're there. So, like, that reality's new. So how would you know?
I love that you said that, because that's a perfect answer.
Yeah, there's a safari jungle out there that you only see in
in the
movies, but no, there's a safari jungle with crazy stuff there, like ancient civilizations there. Like it's crazy.
Have you ever had a bad trip?
Oh yeah. Like when I first psychedelic took was acid, ego death. Instantly, ego death just couldn't. It made me realize I was literally living an entire lie. Like everything was just a lie.
Your world was falling apart.
Like crumbling, just crumbling. Just like, no way.
But what I admire about that, because I'd never experienced that. I've never experienced a bad trip.
But is it really a bad trip though? That's what I just realized. Okay, was it really a bad trip, or is it just me just
you could say
waking up?
Say that, but I feel like it was not like an enjoyable moment for you, in the moment. It was definitely not enjoyable.
I can look back and say, okay,
But like I think retrospectively, it helped me like be so much more self-aware.
Yeah.
But the reason I even asked that is because like my buddy, he tripped a couple times, a decent amount I would say.
Yeah.
But every fucking time it's a bad trip. Like he's always like fighting his demons every time, and then like.
Well, that's a mental battle.
I'm kind of like thinking like, okay, maybe it's showing you like the deepest, darkest truths about yourself. And it's that same battle that you keep losing because you don't want to accept it.
You don't want to accept it.
And
that's
like,
it.
And
it's
like,
simple as that.
To me, I kind of feel like a dick saying that because like, bro, you just gotta like, like man up and like face your fucking your realities.
Stuff, yeah.
But I'm like, because
it's not how you say it, it's the way you say it. You could say that in such a way where he's like, you know what, maybe it's time for me to face him like seriously and really give it some power and say, nah, I control me. Like I am me.
I want him to trip so bad, but like it's weird because like it's like a drug, like wanting someone else to do it. Like I feel kind of weird, but I feel like shrooms have been a big part in me kind of waking up as well. Like one of my most prominent trips I remember is doing it in New York, and that's when I felt like the most free. Like I really did not care what anyone was thinking of me. I was just talking the way I would talk, like my soul. I was talking from my soul to everybody in the world, and like that feeling is unmatched. And I was like, how the fuck do I get like this, like when I'm sober? And I think that's like kind of like the ultimate goal, because I feel like once you start relying on the shrooms, like I need it to like feel that feeling.
Nah, that's when it gets bad.
A little dangerous. So that trip was like kind of what said like, yo, this is different.
That was a catalyst point.
Yeah, it can change. It can change your reality. I feel like that's what really gave me that perspective. But yeah, shrooms have been really good to me so far.
I can't complain, man. Shrooms are really great for me.
And like hearing what you just said about like, was it really a bad trip? Like it's kind of making me want to have a bad experience, but like I'm also very afraid of it.
Yeah, because you never know what comes with it.
Like
each one is different.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like at all, so I don't know what to expect. And like when hearing people like about the ego death, like losing yourself, like that's a scary thought.
That's scary. Yeah.
But I also want to like be put in those tough situations because it causes you to grow.
Yeah.
And me personally, I feel like I haven't really been in like a really shitty situation. Now, my life's not perfect, but like I feel like I don't have anything to like really say like, wow, that going through that really helped me grow a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of waiting for that. You know, it's a little daunting because I
Yeah.
feel like it's gonna happen eventually. Like,
Yeah. There's always there's the ups, and then you gotta get that down. It's
The
like the
downs.
market style. I like to say, you're gonna get that. Whoa, I got that huge buy, and it's like, damn, the retracement back is, oh man, it's gonna be that down, but you create higher highs and higher lows and higher highs, and but you're always still, it's that
trending
uphill.
upwards.
Yeah, it's always that trend up. Like, because you're still, while you're going down, you're still moving forward. The experience, the wisdom, the intellect, all of that's still moving up as you go through your trauma times or childhood traumas or things like that. Like it was all supposed to kind of happen, just so you're your stronger self, you're your strongest self in the times where you're gonna need that strength. And those past experiences of going through that trauma, going through that bad thing, is gonna make you solidify you for when just some occasion comes by, some negative occasion comes by, and it's not gonna hurt you as hard, because you've already been solidified.
Prepared, yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So that's and I'll say this: psychedelics, like acid for me was more of like
I don't really like acid.
Yeah, I don't do acid anymore because it was more like a fun thing.
Too chemically, like I want something natural.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I want like once I did shrooms, I realized how natural it is. Like, damn, this feels great.
Yeah.
Like,
you smoke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that just makes shrooms way better. But I'm not shrooms for me. I had.
Oh my god, I haven't tripped in a minute. You're just like, you're making me want to trip so bad. I'm sorry.
Dude, nah, you're good. Trust me. It's that exciting though. Like that's a great feeling. Like you think about shrooms and you're like, dude, that shit is awesome. Because that's how it's supposed to be. Like that's from the planet, number one. Like that is you. Like, and that's how I see it. Like those shrooms, like that's
part of us.
Yeah.
I heard mushrooms are like the closely related to humans.
To humans.
Like DNA.
There's human DNA in
ones,
there.
yeah.
Like there's a reason why like those are connected to really, really everything. Like back in ancient civilizations, these people were eating like pounds, like daily. Like they were doing this all the time.
Of the psychedelics?
Yeah, like shrooms and
But that's
stuff.
crazy.
They were like they were just that was normal. That's like regular mushrooms. Like you get a salad. Like that's how it was to them. Like they were literally tripping nonstop. Like
That's so
yeah, that was regular reality. So that's why we're connected to that. That past, all that past. Because even if you weren't the same race, they were all connected as one mind. Like they were all still atoms. They were all still physical beings, but they were just tripping balls all the time. But
wow, I feel like they're
expanded consciousness.
I feel like the trip must be so different because they don't have this society like
It's not modern day.
Yeah, it's like they're already I feel like living in their truest reality.
The truest reality.
And like that shroom trip must be like
euphoric.
Yeah, that's like
literally perfect because it was their tribes, it was their kind, it was a lot of things, and especially ancient civilizations. Like my roots, it's crazy. Like I just found this out. Like my roots, like my family background, like we were born on the equator, like of Gabon in Africa. Like literally where I'm from, like on one side of my family, like we were all on the equator, like right, like dead in the middle, like some crazy stuff.
Wait, you?
Like my background,
oh,
like ancestor,
okay,
ancestor,
okay.
Like, but it's crazy, like that's significant. Like
I heard the equator has some like magical thing to it.
There's something to it. That's sun energy right there, like sun energy, and I see the sun as like that's God's mind right there. Like I can look at the sun for like 10 minutes straight and not even have my eyes burn. Like it's crazy. Like
okay, I don't know about that.
No, I swear, like I've done this though. Like people, like I say the most crazy stuff, and people are like, what the. But every day, like for the past, really since this year started, first thing I do, I look right at that sun, cause and there's energy. Like I make sure it beams right on the pin, like right on the third eye, cause that the sun's energy, bro.
It's unmatched.
It's unmatched. There's a reason why you can go without every other vitamin besides vitamin D. Like you need the sun. You need the sun. Everyone needs the sun. If you don't have the sun.
I think it's the source of all life, is it not?
It is. It is. The sun will keep everything going.
Yes. Where all the energy from this planet is coming from, kind of.
Yeah. Like, it's the supreme source of energy. So, the sun, without the sun, man.
There's no life?
There's no life. There's no life without the sun. Because trees die. Like, literally everything just dies. Yeah. Like, it won't be immediate for us. Because.
I mean, if the sun wasn't here, we would just die instantly because it's so cold.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'd freeze to death.
Yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah.
So
sounds a little important.
yeah, the most important. But see, it's just wild. Like I meditated for 3 days straight.
Bro, like just not talking, just in your head type.
Nah, this was me tripping. Literally just 3 days straight. I've done.
Like you wake up.
Yeah, but like it was like I wake up and I'm still like balls out.
Holy fuck! Let me re-up real quick.
But I like first 2 days. Like I didn't really sleep first 2 days. But the second day I slept at night. But I was literally building like.
Do you remember sleeping while you're tripping or?
Yeah, no, it's astral projection for sure. I saw all of my chakras like this stuff is real. Like what the monks are saying, what the Buddhists are saying, like they're not lying. There's chakras. I've seen all of them all through my body, like meditating, like while I'm sleeping. I was listening to the Bible while I was sleeping too, and I was astral projecting myself, seeing the chakras, seeing the all-seeing eye, and like really talking to myself, like talking to my spirit. Who I really am. You're not this physical, trust me. The physical is just the physical manifestation of your spirit and your mind. So I was literally in communications with pure self and planning and saying, look, this is what we got to get done. This is what aspects of my life we want to improve. This is the mental faculties that you want to improve. You know, you have your mental faculties, you got imagination, you got will, you got your memory, you got your reasoning, and there's one more, I think, perception, I think. Yeah, so you have those that you gotta expand on a daily basis in order to become the best you possible. Because your spiritual self is your best self. You're not. I love the fact that we're imperfect because there's always room for improvement. We weren't meant to be perfect. Our spiritual selves are perfect for the very reason that our physical form is imperfect. That gives us room for endless, infinite, constant improvement.
Potential. And growth.
There's always another level to something.
I think that's one of the main things I'm taking from this.
Yeah.
There's always another level.
Always another level.
Have you ever thought about being like a trip sitter, guider, who's like, you know, helping someone kind of process their own thoughts? Because I feel like tripping is very new, you know, like being able to use that much of your brain power. Like I think it's helpful when someone's able to like. That's normal, you know. Like maybe try thinking about it like this, have you ever been that type of friend for someone else, or have you had that done to you? Is it something you plan on doing?
It's crazy. Juan one time was just kind of like he helped me through a portion where it was a bad trip for me, and he was like my sitter type way, trip sitter, and like that was a catalyst like effect because it was like, dang, like it really calmed me down. It really made me realize everything's okay. Your mind's just amplified right now. You're thinking a lot of rapid thoughts that you don't really have to stress about right now. It's just the question's there. What are you gonna do about it? And like he made me realize like there's no need to stress. There's no need to really take it all in now like for full effect. You just have to take the step back to get 15 steps forward. There's nothing wrong with taking that step back and evaluating where you're at and coming to the conscious decision that I need change. I need to be challenged, and that very challenge is going to bring that change that you need to get to where you got to be every time. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see Juan being a very like comforting voice, like do that, like just the way he like
dad voice, like it's all right, it's all right.
Because like, he's to me he's kind of like manly, so like when like he's someone that like you can feel like okay, I'm in a safe spot when he's like talking to you. So
and you can trust him to a level like this guy's here for me,
and he has good intentions.
Yeah, like never steers you wrong.
Yeah, you say you met him in high school?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how I met him. Like through my ex one time. We're not going to talk about that. But yeah, it was just crazy. And then we ended up hopping on. Actually, I was on PlayStation parties with him, and I just remember my ex saying like, "Yo, this is Juan." I'm like, "Wait, I think I know this guy on the mic." Like, and then it was him, and I was like, "Oh," and that's how we ended up being friends. Like,
yeah, dude, like those instances, like I love them because like
they're great.
It's so like.
Small world.
Yeah. Like, how is this happening? It's so crazy. Like, life is so crazy sometimes.
Insane. Like, one of my closest friends, I was like 7 years old. I met him on Xbox Live. Like, and he used to live in New York, and it doesn't even make sense. And now he lives here. We both live here. And it's like,
we met up?
Yeah, we met up. Like, I just remember when he said he was moving to Atlanta. I was like, no way you're moving to the state that I'm in. And that's someone I met on Xbox Live when I was a kid. Like,
you grew up in Georgia?
No, I grew up in New Jersey, but I moved a lot. You know, I came down here. I've lived in Louisiana for like a year. I've moved back that's when I moved. After Louisiana, I moved to Duluth, and then I kind of been around Georgia a lot. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, would you like to talk a little bit about trading?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. We got to talk about trading. Trading's huge. I think.
So
trading is huge.
Okay. I don't want to really get like the fluffy stuff of like what got you into trading. Like.
Oh yeah.
Let's just dive straight into it, bro. So like, what's your trading strategy looking like?
Yo, this is crazy. I'm technical analysis. I love technical analysis.
Yeah, I don't look at the news.
I'm a smart money trader. Like that's my concept. I learned from a guy he runs 7 Source Academy. His name is Yang. He's taught me the ultimate smart money strategy is basically trading with the banks, trading with the flow of like the real money is. The banks got the money. Those are you're really just trading with the people who really have the money.
It's like following their wave, kind of.
Yeah, like 95% of traders are kind of just going off of buy low, sell high. That's their mindset. Like that's not how things really go. Like then you have the aspect of how the news can drop, and then that creates giant liquidity grabs, and then the huge imbalance creates that. So smart money is just trading with the flow, and you're not looking for the small play, you're looking for the huge play. You're looking for that 1,000 pick play.
What's your so like I trade something similar to you. I trade like I don't know if the term order blocks.
Yeah.
Order blocks, fair value gaps. Does that sound?
Yes.
So that's
basically the same thing.
Okay, that's what I trade. And it's the same concept of like you see those footprints of like high liquidity. You know that those are the big players, so you want to follow that direction or wait for like the retest.
Right.
And I know you said you're a day trader. What time frames are you using?
I'm in between 30-minute and an hour time frame.
Okay.
Especially sometimes if I want to get that fast money kind of HFT vibe, I go between the 1 minute, 5 minute, and do some scalping.
Okay.
That's like that's when it gets kind of crazy because if you can master the 1 to 5 minute, like you can start making some crazy bank.
What my coach said was like scalping is the truest form of trading because you have to understand the weekly trend to like the daily market flow to then see how it breaks down all the way down to like the 2 minute.
Right.
So like I was scalping and it was pretty like simple because I just had like this very basic
strategy that you ran.
Strategy, which is like if it breaks London high, then like look for the reversal low.
Literally, yeah.
That's what you trade?
Yeah, I go off of like on my trading view. It's crazy. I have all the market sessions like popped up.
Me too, bro.
Oh yeah, order block. Yeah, so this is actually like you really trade kind of the way I trade, like that setup right there.
And like you have these little so I have like these markers. Yeah. For this, the yellow is like the Asian session.
Yeah, I have that.
You have that
it
as
shows
well?
me exactly what market we're in.
Okay.
What session?
Yeah, I think we have a similar trade.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and gold is about to Gold is.
So like.
Gold's about to do some nasty stuff very soon.
What do you mean? What you think gold's about to do?
Gold is definitely going to like 2K, but like we're talking about 250, like we're talking about like 280.
Up here, yeah, this is like
we're talking about like that.
This is like the liquidity from last year.
Okay, yeah, you got that's a nice setup, I would say. You got a nice little TP too.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm still figuring out like my system. Like I understand the concepts of like when to enter, but I'm still trying to make it where it's like a repeatable system where like it's possible to program it. Like and it's effective. Like it's actually like making me fucking money. Yeah.
It's crazy. I partnered up, the partnerships recently. Like prop firms. Have you ever heard prop firms?
They did like they like give you like a fuck ton of money and you make. Yeah. You got an account? Or you
man. I'm literally partnered up with people who run the prop firms, and then they have the AI bots that literally trade for you hands free. Like, so you just,
I'm trying to get to that level. Like, I feel like I gotta know my AI bots.
That's the thing. Like, I love the prop firms because you get the hand free trading and you get paid out. But this gives you leverage, so your payouts are gonna be thousands. Like you're gonna be getting some thousands. Like they have minimum 100K accounts all the way to a million funded accounts. Like, there's only 2 phases you got to pass. The AI is doing it. The AI passes all the phases and trades for you and gets you money.
Are these separate things that you're just using the AI to trade the platform?
Yeah.
Bro.
Like, it's kind of OP. Like,
You made this? You made this? Or?
No, I don't have the. No, I didn't make the AI. It's some 7A source Yang. That's his Instagram.
Is it the same one in your Instagram bio?
Yeah.
Okay, I might have to check that out because that sounds cool.
That's my partner, man. And it's crazy because I remember him 3 years back when I was doing my first company. It was called I Am Master Academy. It was like trading and like a network marketing business. But yo, these guys were homeless, man. Like, they were running up the business and stuff. They were homeless and they mastered trading and they built the system. And now to see them up, 6 figures every month and living life and have a bot system. It's like this is the power of it, Like, and that's I'm working on getting my own bot for my team. I have a Telegram team, Discord, and a whole business. I have the LLC. It's called the Money Men. We're about to change the name to the Money Men Institute, and we offer trading services.
Is it more call out or you teaching?
No, like teaching. Like, we do call outs, crypto call outs, stock options, credit services. We have 15 plus like incomes that besides trading, like when it comes to real estate, Airbnbs, Bitcoin ATMs, vending machines. We're really getting into the, this is how you do a billion lives.
Make a business, okay.
You impact a billion lives, you get people to start making passive incomes. So, they just have more money coming in because I think right now we're in a recession and we're really about to be in a depression that they're hiding from. And it's people need to find ways to make money. Right now is the perfect time to help people find passive incomes where they just don't do anything. It's hands-free. You can still work that job, but have this making you that extra $5K a month, that extra $10K a month. And if you really want to expand, you start getting some money, you get extra $20K a month, $50K a month. And I know what that can do for not just someone themselves, but their families and their friends. Like, people are striving to get money.
Yeah.
And I know what an extra 5,000 did for my life. I know what an extra 10,000 did for my life. If it worked for me, I know what it can do for someone else. And that's what I want to see. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about my results. Let's get you 10K a month passively. And that's like our mission right now. Everyone on our chat, everyone on our team, we already closed the chats over. Like, and if you're really serious, we added in, but we want to get everyone in our chats 10K a month passively. Hands-free.
Okay, when you say passively, like, what do you mean by that? Because in my opinion, I'm like, there's no real such thing as passive income. Everything comes from work.
Right.
But what
you leverage other people to do the work for you.
Okay.
That's passive. Okay. So it's the work's being done, but you're not really doing the work.
You're just organizing it.
You pay for a service for someone else to make you money.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that's, I don't know. The power of trading. It's like
it's fucking infinite money.
You're working on a $7 trillion market.
Yeah.
Plus $1 trillion market. Like, you can easily get your fair share in $7 trillion. If you can't get your fair share in $7 trillion, then
you're doing something wrong.
You're doing something wrong. Like, I don't know. The money's always been here. The money has always been.
It's just there for you to take.
Yeah. Like, the world is literally yours.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I feel like trading has been like the answer. I'm just feeling like, I don't know. I feel like I'm so close, but yet so far. I don't know.
It never ends.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're going to get, like, the breakthrough comes. Trust me. The breakthrough comes. You keep it up, it has nothing else to do with come. You're going to get that $1,000 day or, like, that 20-minute $1,000. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm up 1,020. Holy shit, I can. You see that? Belief system raises, faith raises, everything raises, because now I did 1,020.
I just did that.
That can be 100,020. And then you start picturing that, and then you start visualizing that, and then you start to really believe it, and then you start to realize you can do this for other people, and other people can make this, and other people can do this, because people are only going to believe the things they really see. If I can show you, you can make 20K, 30 minutes, wake up in the morning, hit New York session, like, boom, make your money. You can make someone's, like, there's people making people's 401ks. There's people making people's retirement funds in a day. Like, this is real life. This is real life stuff, and people don't really believe it, but no, it's real. It's real. It's just you got to be aware of it. Some people just don't know where the money's at. People don't got that money consciousness. You got to get the money consciousness before the money really starts coming. Like,
understand how money works.
Yeah, understand how money works, and people don't know what money is. Like, that's the thing. Like, money isn't the paper. Like, you gotta.
It's like more of a concept?
Yeah, it's more of a concept. Like, concept and an idea. to one, provide service, and one, to make more money off of money.
Make money, yeah.
That's the only two ways you can make money. Provide a service and makes money off of itself. It's the only way.
Okay. Well, I feel like I'm gonna be real with you. Like I could talk to you like for a lot longer.
I could keep going. You know,
like
it's been a great one. I will say that.
And I know because I lose track of time. You know, I'm not really thinking like, okay, when is it? Like, I want to talk more. But I do have like somewhere to be after this.
Right. You're fine.
I gotta respect that. But man, like it's been a fucking pleasure having you on.
This was incredible, man.
It's like this feeling is similar to the one I had with Juan, where I'm like, wow, there's other minds out there that are so different, you know? Their way of thinking.
Seeing your mind and seeing how you talk and seeing where you want to be and hearing your story and just in a way, just this communication, like I love it. I love it because I know what it does for us and I know what it does for them watching. And it's always the best feeling, man. And
like, these are the moments I live for, man. Like just being able to meet new people, beautiful minds. It makes my day. I think this is what I want to do for a very long time. So like people like you know, keep me going. Yeah. The way I usually end my podcast is I just have my guests, you know, give like a piece of advice to your younger self. Hey, this is like something that will, you know, really get you ahead. Just live by this mindset or whatever. It could be anything, you know. It could be buy Bitcoin. It could be whatever. Yeah. What is a piece of advice you would tell your younger self?
I say this one thing. Dream your life, live your dream. Simple as that. Dream your life, live your dream. That's all you gotta do.
That reminds me of like this little video of this old white guy. He's like, how big would you dream if you knew you would never fail? And I feel like it's like kind of similar to you, like being able to see that vision before so you can actually start achieving it. Yeah. That is.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell myself to go get into something. I would just say, look, dream it and live it.
Go fucking get it.
Go get
Hell
it.
yeah, brother. Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure having you on, man. You're always welcome back. You know, I could talk to you fucking honestly, and I do see, you know, talking to you, you know, outside of the podcast, I feel like this relationship is kind of new and something that I do want to nourish. So,
yes, sir.
Pleasure having you on, man.
Yes, sir, man. It was a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you. Grateful for this. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, y'all. Catch you guys next week.
Sure.